Hello, this is Bridget with Divine Essentials. Okay, guys, so I just finished. My dog is like touching me with her nose. I'm sorry, 7-Eleven. I'm sorry, 7-Eleven. She's talking to me. They waited very patiently for over an hour for me to do that activation. So that was the soul retrieval activation. So basically, like, the whole thing is, as you go through Alcyone Light Healing, you guys have kind of, like, had your own little moments of retrieval already up until this point, like, where I can't remember exactly all of, like, what we did and where we did it and all of that, because I got live brain, so I don't remember much. But for whatever, well, I know why. When I channel, so that's a good thing, because I don't have to think. But I know I've done soul retrieval before. So you guys have already kind of like had a little taste of it. You guys have already been into that energy. You've already, like, retrieved some stuff. Oh, that was it too. We did the Galactic War as well, I believe. Or we might be going, I think we already did that. They're really bad. So anyways, the next thing is going to be another retrieval, but that's going to be a meditation, so everybody on the channel can have that, and that's the Atlantean one. So it's going to be specific to people who've had lives in Atlantis, or to those of you who have been impacted by those who've been in Atlantis. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you had a lover that was in Atlantis, and so their fears, their phobias, their beliefs that they picked up along their time there, if they were there for the fall, may have impacted you negatively, because they may have believed XYZ about all people, or that all women or all men or whatever, we're going to do XYZ. So if that was the case, you may have had some negative experiences due to, second degree beliefs, so that's going to be the meditation that I post after this activation is this post. This is going to be posted with the link down below for the soul retrieval activation. What this is going to do, that is linked to this, is it basically takes you up into the energies, or down into the energies rather, because we ended up in the opening the vortex, opening the top pillar, opening the second, boop boop boop, and then we brought the pillar of light down, and we brought you down into the belly of the Sacred Mother. So you're in the womb space of Pachamama, in the womb space of Gaia. And that's where we basically left, like, your presence, like your physical presence, your body and all of that. But then, while we were down there, like, bringing the light from Alcyone into your crown and into all of the other places, we were activating you to be able to activate others, okay? Or to be, to activate others, but to also be able to guide others on a soul retrieval. So you've already done soul retrieval, like I said, like in different ways. Like, we did the galactic one, you've done this one. Now you're going to be doing another one right after this when I post that next one. I don't know if I'll do it today or not, because I've got to go live tonight and do free, no, not free, paid readings on the Bridget Rao channel, but that's that takes a lot out of me, so I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna have time. Yeah, it's already 11:30. I need to go to sleep for a while and then do my live, and so probably, tomorrow or the next day I will post the Atlantean soul retrieval. But this one basically is setting you up. You do go and retrieve one of your fragments, because this is a soul retrieval, like a fragment retrieval. So it's basically, what it's doing is teaching you how to go do that, and it's teaching you how to activate other people with the activation that I gave to you. So it's like, whatever I just did to you, at some point you're going to want to, like, consciously be aware of it. You know what I mean? Like, you want to listen to this as a meditation, experience it, enjoy it, all of that. Go on the retrieval part of it, retrieve the fragment that needs to be retrieved, and you'll hear, because they say, like, look at yourself at one point and see where are your fragments, missing. And they talked a little bit in the beginning about why fragments go missing and what that means, and how that could impact you and all of that. And then we activated your energy, like your body, to be able to, feel more powerful, feel more confident. If you're going to guide another person on a soul retrieval, that you would speak with truth, and that you would speak with love and compassion, and that you would know what to say and when to say it, and how to say it, and where to go and when not to go, and how long to bring the light here and how long to bring the light here. And it may speed up and it may slow down depending on the individual or depending on the group of people you're working on. So basically, all of this work is intuitive anyways. So it's like every person that listens to this meditation may take something different away from it, but that's how I am as a teacher anyways. I don't want people to walk around doing the exact same thing like little robots. Like that's not being an intuitive healer. That's not doing anything, energetically speaking. Like, it's just limiting people, making them think, oh, I gotta read this script and I gotta do this at that time, and I gotta make sure at 5:55 I'm sending a beam of light to their brain. Like, no, that's not what we do. You just go with the flow, and if you forget something, you forget something. Like, spirit knows, spirit is intelligent. That's why the biggest piece of all of these things is setting our intention, which we set very clear intentions in the beginning, which you will hear and you will go through. But yeah, we basically activated you so that you could activate others, and then we, empowered you so that you could do this for others, and then we took you out, like your consciousness, just your consciousness left. And it was basically like going through the universe. You could think of your consciousness as like the universe, like the stars. It was just like all black with the stars, and you knew where to go. So like when you take somebody on a soul retrieval, you're not really guiding them, they're guiding you. So you were guiding me to wherever we were headed, because you know where you need to go most to retrieve whatever you've lost before that is most in need for you to have back right now. So like, say you were in an experience and like you died, somebody killed you, or somebody, just like really hurt you, and ever since then you've had a belief that I'm not worthy, or I'm not good, or I'm this, or that, whatever. That's basically, what we were doing, was to go back to retrieve that fragment that was lost in that moment, where you probably adopted a belief in place of that fragment that was not a good belief, and then brought it back and rewrote that experience so that experience isn't going to impact you negatively anymore. But it's important when you leave this to be aware of what you just saw and what you just did and what you connected with, because you're going to want to be like mindful to not let that belief continue to be rampant in your life. If it was a belief like I'm not worthy, we retrieved the thing and all of that, and we rewrote the stuff, but you still have to consciously do some work behind that, because it takes time to like retrieve, to rewrite your brain. It takes time to reprogram a belief. So we can do the energetic part of it, become aware of it through the energetic part of it, but now it's your part of it to take that and do something good with it, okay? So I want you to like think about whatever you retrieve, because we just do one retrieval, and then if there's others that you saw when we did like the little scan of like where do you missing spots, you can do this as many times as you like, but each time that you do it, be aware of where you went and who you were with and anything you need to know about that, and like think about what belief that would have brought up in you, that like I'm not smart, or I'm not fast enough, or I'm not good enough, or I'm stupid, like whatever it is, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, I'm like whatever it is, you want to become aware of it so that you can rewrite it energetically, speaking in the meditation aspect, which will be very good because it's very deep, very meditative. It's going to go on deep levels for your unconscious parts, like your subconscious parts, but on your conscious part, do some like affirmations for a week surrounding it. Like if it was something like I'm not worthy, I want you to do like I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy of this, I'm worthy of that, I'm worthy of this, I'm worthy of whatever, for at least 30 days would be ideal, but I know not everybody will stick to that. But even if you just write a list like next to your bed, so like every night before you go to bed you say it 30 times for 30 days, but yeah, that's basically what we did right now. Soul retrieval activation. So now you'll be able to do that for others if you really want to, and like if you don't feel confident, they even said like listen to this again, because you got to get confident in doing it, and then do it. And there's no reason to not be confident in doing it. And if you're not confident to do it, that's probably going to be like, beep, beep, beep. You've got a freaking fragment somewhere that like is connected to that makes you think that you don't have the validated part of yourself to be able to do what I did. And all I did was do what I was guided to do, and spoke and played this in the bowl. Like, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to play the bowl. You don't have to, you can just speak. You can just sit and speak and guide somebody, because you have to guide somebody. You got to let them know what's going on. You got to bring in the light in all those places. And then when they, go through that, they're going to get very relaxed. They're going to get to that meditative state. We didn't head out of your body for a while. And then when that happens, you're going to take them out of there in their consciousness, and they're going to guide you. So you don't really have to worry about where you're going, because they're guiding you. And they're going to guide you to the lifetime that, either was part of this life experience or another life. Because we said, instead of like limiting it and being like, it's from this life, because that's very limiting, it was wherever they needed to most go. So wherever you needed to most go is where we ended up going to retrieve. And you can do this time and time again. These, usually what I do, like if I was doing like a shamanic soul retrieval with somebody, because this is obviously different, because I'm activating you to activate others. But if I was doing like a shamanic version of this with people, I think it's more so like kind of what we did before with like the galactic-y one, where basically I would stand at the person's head, if I'm face to face, like if I'm in person with the person. If not, I would guide them with my voice. But basically I still guide them with my voice in person too, but I stand at their head with my like fingers in these little indents here, like on each side, and I tell them to relax and get comfortable. Now for me, I'm very comfortable speaking to people on the table, so I go through the whole spiel and they enjoy it. But even if you're not, like, you don't have to do all that. You can just tell them to breathe some nice deep breaths, get them relaxed. Literally only take like a minute or two, and then you can like talk to them and like guide them back to where they need to go. Usually it's this lifetime. Usually they had a couple of shit things that happened in this lifetime, and if for some reason they didn't, like, because I usually do 3 times, where it's like, go back to the last time you remember being hurt or lied to, or somebody did something bad to you, the last time that you received some sort of trauma, some sort of pain, some sort of suffering. So they go back to that moment. Now we're not going to relive it, but we're going to observe it, okay, from a higher perspective. We're going to look at it from above. We're going to see what happened between you and this other person, or you and whatever happened. Maybe an animal attacked you, maybe the earth fell apart and you got hurt. It's like, obviously that's not personal, so you shouldn't have a belief that like you're stupid or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, but you would like probably take on a belief that is not a good one to have if you experience a deep trauma, like an animal eating you because it was starving to death. The animal's starving to death, so it's not like it pinned you out and was like, I know what I'm gonna do. It was starving to death, so it ate you. But you might come back in the next life deathly afraid of animals, believing that they're going to kill you out of fear, out of like, oh my god, because something cellular happened to you before. But if the animals are running around and they're not starving to death and they're happy and they're like, they won't do that. But your belief of them being that way will start to attract animals that are going to do shitty shit to you, because you're going to act like a maniac and scream and flip out and do stuff that makes them react to you. Like my niece does it with one of my dogs. She's like, the bad dog. She calls him the bad, because this dog, I was attacked one time by a child about the size of her, and ever since then he like attacks any child. Like, he doesn't attack them, but he like barks at them. He's like, because he's afraid that child, he's got a belief. He went through trauma. That kid was like hitting me and kicking me, and so he jumped up and bit him in the bum. And ever since then, any child that's close in size, he freaks out at the presence of it. But because of like him barking, which isn't really him, like he's not growing after, he's not attacking her, but because she equates that with like him being like, oh, I can't go on that side of the gate because he's over there, and like she makes it a bigger deal than it needs to be, so she gets him going, because she like runs, like instead of just walking out of like areas that he can't be in, she runs and like that, and he's like bah, 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 bah. So my bird used to do it. My bird used to like attack my sister because my sister was afraid. It's just what happens. But people don't realize how much it happens and how like big it is. So basically that's what we were doing. I kind of lost myself in talking about that. Plus my mana, what is wrong with you? What? He's keep barking at me. He's like, "Blah, blah, blah," because I've been over here for too long. So I gotta let them out, and hopefully that made sense. But yeah, we were rewriting your beliefs and figuring out where they were and why they were. Oh, that's basically what I was saying. So yeah, we found your belief, and we're like, oh, this is where this came from. So you can have beliefs really like causing havoc that don't really need to be there, and they might not be from this lifetime. Oh, but yeah, when you're doing that, you go back to the one that was most recent, the one before that, and then one more. And if that person on your table happens to not have 3 in this life, which I'm sure they do, because what we usually say too is like, we go back to the last time, the one time before that, and let's go back to the very first time that's like connected to what that belief system may be. Because a lot of times people will like unknowingly go to certain things that are kind of connected, so like if as a child, you're traumatized by a dog, and then you get older and you're like, I have an irrational fear, like that may be the belief that I have irrational fear surrounding, animals because of whatever, like they may be aware of that by that point. But we would see where else this irrational fear popped up, like the last time it popped up, the time before that, and then all the way back to the first time, which would be in my kitchen with that dog freaking out. So we rewrite that so that dog never freaked out, so that experience never happened, and we like take away all of the like shit connected to it. Like there's no reason to have resentment, there's no reason to have anger, there's no reason to be sad, there's no reason to be I'm stupid, there's no reason to feel any of those things, because it wasn't a personal thing or whatever, and it really isn't. So it's like not a far stretch to rewrite. But in some cases, like if somebody was murdered or somebody was, went through something really big, like, and bad, we might have to rewrite it and kind of be like, okay, well, now we're going to look at it from a higher perspective, as in like, hurt people, there was something wrong with this person in order for them to do what they did to you. And instead of holding on to the resentment and hurting yourself, or holding on to the pain and the trauma that this person caused you and all the beliefs that they have instilled into you, that's not doing anything good for you, we're going to rewrite that. We're going to give you a whole new set of memory here. And it's not like we're taking it, like, we're not just sweeping it out of the rug or anything like that. We're just freeing the person from what it is. We're not reliving it too. That's the most important thing, is that when we go back, we keep saying, you're not reliving it. You're not reliving it. Because you don't want them to get into like the like view of like being back in that moment of going through whatever trauma it was. You want to go, like, look at it from above, like see the whole thing here, see the bird's eye view, this person and that person, what happened, landslide, whatever it was. But hopefully that makes sense. I think it does, and I think you guys have done it enough times with me at this point to kind of get the concept, and hopefully it has helped you with something, at least 1 or 2 things. And I think this one will be really good, because not only is it empowering you to be able to do it for others, but we do like a pretty good one there, where you go and you retrieve the fragment that you've lost. So basically a soul retrieval and like this fragment retrieval, it's the same thing. It's just, that's what we call it. It's like your soul fragmented. I think depending on the practitioner, or depending on like if it's shamanic or whatever, like it would depend on wordings and things like that, because some people like we can do like retrieval, like soul retrieval, to retrieve pieces of you to put back, into your body and your fragments and stuff. But we can also do extractions. So I think some people might get like confused about those things at points. Like, we're not extracting anything out of you. We're retrieving a soul fragment outside of you that you lost at some point in a trauma. And it's really interesting, because the other day I was watching some stuff about like attachments with people, like actual physical, like I like you, what kind of attachment is that? I was watching things like that, and the girl is very much into subconscious stuff, and she was saying like basically the same thing I was saying, where she's like, when you go through something, or you have a moment with somebody or something, whatever, like your parents, like say you're a kid and your parents are like, don't cry, like, stop crying, what's wrong with you? That's gonna make the kid be like, and internalize that in an unhealthy way. And so what she was saying is, in that moment, they take on something, right? What I'm saying is, in that moment, they lose something. They lose a fragment of themselves, and in place of that fragment, they adopted a belief. her wording is basically the exact same thing, only what's happening in her world is like they're taking on the pain of that, like they're not losing their fragment, but also while they're taking on like this, she said, I think she said like attachment or something. She's like they attach it like on, I don't know, like a little, like an item. So it's like she sees it as like an item being attached to this person. But not only that, a belief too. So like they're getting two things. I see it as kind of like an exchange where you're like, here's a part of my soul, and here's this new belief that sucks and kind of leaves this empty space in me. So now if we can get rid of that empty space and fill it back up with my soul and rewrite that programmed belief into me that was a result of whatever I went through, we're going to feel much better. And we're going to stop believing that shit. We're going to stop attracting stuff based off of that. So hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, you can think of it in either way, whatever makes sense for you to like retrieve, receive, whatever. It's just how I do it. I want everybody to be comfortable, make sense to them, do what makes sense to you. Okay, so hopefully you enjoy this. The activation link will be down below. So it's pretty long, so I'll probably do the 888, but yeah. Link is down below if you need anything else. You can email me. I've been not so good at answering emails lately, so if you have emailed me and I missed it, or my sister missed it, because my sister's been helping me, but sometimes like she doesn't know what to open because some things don't look like it's from you guys, and sometimes it does and it's not from you guys, so she gets a little like, I don't know what to open, but then she didn't tell me, so I'm like, there's like 7,000 days of stuff that we missed. So if we missed you, and you know you got a question or something, you can do the submit on my my website. There's a submit document where it will tell us specifically that it's from my website. It says, you know, I have a divine question, so I know to answer those because it says, hi, I have a divine question as the subject line. Okay. Oh, and on my website too, I think there's like a chat box now that they added. Like, I didn't add it, but there is one on there. I'm not there to answer it immediately, like, and I don't have one of those like, hey, what's up? Do you have this problem? And like generate a bunch of crap. But if you say something to it, I will probably get back to it because it is attached to like my stuff. So I think I will get an email at least that it says, hey, you know, whatever somebody says. Okay, guys, in Munay, Namaste.